Today, we are going to unpack a fascinating story about how a kingdom, right at the absolute peak of its power, can suddenly find itself staring into the abyss. It's a short little story from way back, but wow, it is packed with lessons on power, pride, and the one choice that can change a nation's destiny forever. And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. How does a golden kingdom, a symbol of ultimate success and wealth, become a bronze one? It's a powerful metaphor for decline, and it's a story that can happen to anyone or any group that loses its way. So let's find out how it happened here. All right, so our story starts with a guy named King Rehoboam. He's finally got his kingdom established, everything's secure, he's strong. You'd think, right? This is it. The golden age is about to begin. But it's right here at the absolute height of his power that he makes a huge mistake. Now, here's the part that's so wild. The timing. This didn't happen when they were weak or desperate. No, it was after he had become strong, that he and the whole nation along with him just decided to abandon their core principles. Talk about a classic case of success breeding arrogance, right? And the consequences? Well, they were immediate and they were devastating. So you gotta ask, what happens when you just toss your foundation aside? Well, in this story, the payback wasn't a slow decay. It was a foreign superpower showing up on the doorstep, bringing an absolutely overwhelming threat with them. The invasion is led by this guy, Shishak, the king of Egypt. And the army he brings, it's just mind-boggling. First up, 1,200 chariots. You have to picture this. In the ancient world, that's like an entire armored division of tanks rolling up to your front door. It's terrifying. And that's not all. Backing up those chariots, 60,000 horsemen. The scale of this army is it's hard to even wrap your head around. This is a military machine built for one thing, total conquest. And it's heading straight for Jerusalem. And just when you think it can't get any crazier, the text tells us the foot soldiers, the Libyans, Sukkites, and Cushites, were innumerable. Innumerable. They were literally too many to count. This isn't just an army anymore. It's a tidal wave of humanity, ready to completely wipe this kingdom off the map. So, with this unstoppable force breathing down their necks, Rehoboam and his leaders are understandably terrified. But here's the twist. The real battle wasn't going to be fought with swords and shields. No, this was a moral crisis, and it all comes to a head when a prophet shows up. Can you just imagine hearing these words? The prophet Shemaiah comes and delivers a message that is just brutally direct. There's no trying to soften the blow. This invasion, it's not random, it's not bad luck. It is a direct one-to-one consequence of what they did. You abandoned me, so I'm abandoning you. Oof. Okay, and this right here is the turning point of the whole story. The king and his leaders, they could have argued, right? They could have made excuses, blamed someone else, but they don't. Instead, they do something pretty incredible. They humble themselves, and they simply say, "The Lord is just." They own it. They accept full responsibility. And you know what? That one moment of humility, it changes everything. The death sentence is lifted, total destruction is taken off the table. But, and this is a big but, that doesn't mean there aren't consequences. Oh no. They're going to survive, but they are about to learn a very hard lesson. They've dodged complete destruction, but survival is gonna cost them a lot. This next part of the story shows us the tangible, physical price they had to pay for their pride. So Shishak doesn't burn the city to the ground, but he does the next best thing. He cleans it out. He hauls off all the treasure from the temple, from the palace. The text is so blunt about it. He took everything. Generations of wealth, history, and pride just gone. And that included one very specific, very symbolic treasure. And this slide, man, it just says it all. This is the heart of the story. See, Rehoboam's dad, the famous King Solomon, he'd made these magnificent shields of solid gold for his royal guard. I mean, the ultimate status symbol, right? Pure power and wealth. Well, Shishak takes them all. And what does Rehoboam replace them with? Bronze. Just plain old bronze. Can you imagine? Every single time the king went out, his guards were carrying these bronze shields, a constant public reminder of how far they had fallen. They went from gold to bronze. So what was the point of this whole nightmare? The story is super clear that this wasn't just punishment for the sake of punishment. No, this was an education, a very painful one, which leads to a really complicated legacy for the king at the center of it all. And here it is, the why behind the whole ordeal laid out for everyone to see. They're allowed to become servants of the Egyptian king for one specific reason, so they can learn the difference, so they can finally understand what it's like to serve him versus serving the other kings around them. They wanted to know what life was like on the other side? Well, careful what you wish for. So in the end, how do we remember Rehoboam? Honestly, it's a mixed bag. On one hand, yeah, he reigned for 17 years, and that one crucial moment of humility saved his people from being wiped out. But the final verdict on him is pretty rough. He ultimately did evil because he never really committed. He didn't set his heart on seeking the Lord. He was forced into a lesson, but it seems like he never fully learned it, leaving behind a kingdom that was just a shadow of its former golden glory. And that leaves us with a final thought, something to really chew on. What is the real difference between being conquered and being taught a lesson? For King Rehoboam and his kingdom, that line was razor thin. It was a constant reminder they had to look at every single day in the dull gleam of those bronze shields.